The Saints athletic program. A lot of good things happening. This week, we're going to, of course, check in with the football team. Head coach Mike LaChance will talk about their latest victory, clinching first place, stuff like that. Actually, you could really start thinking about the playoffs with the Saints football. And then we're going to talk some cross country for the first time this year. They have their first meet coming up. Happy to report that the head coach, Paul Boots, has returned. He's retired from his other job, but he's not leaving the Saints. So that's good news for everybody. And we're going to start things off with the red hot, and I mean red hot, women's softball team. Oh my, this team is just scary good. Of course, they are in the very capable hands of Coach Doug Wiseman. He joins us. Good day to you, Coach Wiseman. How are you today?
I'm good, Dom. How are you?
You should be good. You're 8. You're 8. No, that means things are good, right?
Yeah, things have been going very well for us, for sure.
Sure. Well, let's talk about it. 8-0. The team has scored 103 runs in those 8 games. That's a scary stat. And they've only allowed 11. That's another scary stat. How good is the team right now, Coach?
We're getting better.
Oh my God! There's more. You mean there's more?
Well, the plan has always been to try to get better every day we get on the diamond, and the kids have been. The players are very focused and very attentive to what we need to do. And playing these games really do. We do find ways to improve, and we do have a list, whether it may be a short list or not. But we practice what we don't do well, and that's been our plan.
You know, Coach, you've had the team on the road now. You've had them at home, and that always is something I'm sure coaches watch. How do they play at home? Is there a little more of a comfort level? Do I get the same out of them on the road? Are you seeing that with your team? Is the consistency there either at home and on the road with this team?
Well, we played. We've only played a doubleheader, 2 games at home so far, and I know the team really enjoys playing there. Obviously, we love the facility and the practicing there, and our team is geared for that diamond, and so playing on the road can be a little challenging because we're playing on dirt and grass most of the time, and the dimensions are sometimes quite farther than regulation. So we do adapt, and they're hungry. They're a hungry group.
Yeah, hungry is a good word to describe them. I mean, you look at the numbers, and I don't like to put everything into stats. Because sometimes stats can be deceiving, but it's really hard not to notice what some of these girls are doing at the plate, doing on the defensive side, and of course the numbers you have in your overall team record. Where is the area, I guess, that you have to be careful with still, Coach? I guess one thing, because of how well they're playing, maybe a little bit of maybe not a challenge, but one of the areas that I'm sure you work at very hard is not allowing them to become comfortable or just too relaxed here.
Well, they haven't been, and we discuss that every practice. It's very it's brought up prior to our first game of the doubleheaders, and played at a pretty hostile environment over the weekend out in Humber, and it can get pretty exciting there. So we play off it, but honestly, we just worry about ourselves, and we don't let anything distract us. And we're definitely we're focused. We're a focused group.
Speaking of the games in Humber, you were kind enough to share a little bit of a story with me, or something that happened in that game. Talk about Amy Clayton and a home run that she hit.
Yeah, the first inning of the second game. Well, if I go back to the first game of the first game, we threw Cresser. They didn't get a chance. They've seen her. She was outstanding, and Sarah Balzer hit a first inning home run there to get us on top, and that game kind of cruised through. But we started the second game. We really addressed about getting on top and getting ready, being ready to hit right away. I don't think we hit very well the first game, but yeah, Clayton Clayton hit a monster home run. Probably I think they called it a mega home run. The fence is about 200, and she hit it off the fence behind it about 100 feet farther. She short hopped it. Had to hit the ball at least 290 feet in the air.
That's amazing. When you think about that, that ball, just watching it and watching it and watching it, but great sight to see, that's for sure. So, Coach, tell me, where do you go here now? You're 8-0. The Nationals are, what, 2-3 weeks away now. You've got some home games this week, and that's why I wanted to get you on the show. We'll get into those games in just a moment this weekend. Very important games at that. But just I guess the road. Every coach likes to pace their team, keep them, as you mentioned, improving, developing. Where is your team at? How would you rate their play up to this point, and what do you anticipate down the road here?
I anticipate we're gonna see everybody's best, no matter what. We probably already have, but no, I anticipate us to just stay in line and don't waver off the direction we're going in, and we're creating a challenge every time we get out there. We're creating challenges, game within the game when we're playing. If things get a little out of hand sometimes, but it's all about sportsmanship for us. We don't play it up. We we respect our opponents and the umpires, and we want to do this thing the right way.
The umpires.
No, they can change things sometimes, right?
Yeah, I hear you, Coach.
If there's an issue, there'll probably be a conversation I have. I don't want our players getting involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're a very qualified spokesperson, and you have your ways of expressing things to the umpires. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I mentioned the Nationals. Obviously, that's got to be in the back of the minds a little bit. For sure, the coaches. How about the players, and how do you guard from that becoming? I don't want to say a distraction, but just not looking that far ahead yet.
It's difficult. I've obviously bookmarked it and checked the games leading up to it, and ones we're circling is we got Durham at home this Sunday. We're on the road Saturday to finish to Mohawk, where we play Saturday, and then we come back Saturday night to play Durham in our park, and that's going to be a good test for us. They've got an elite pitching staff. Like, they have four good pitchers I'm aware of. And we'll prepare for whoever's there, and we have reports on them, and we'll be seeing them in the Nationals along with Humber from our league, who is a very good team. A lot of respect for them. So that's something we have to worry about. And also on the road there, I know I did check off. We're playing prior to coming home. We're at Durham for a round robin, which they're on turf, which I'm happy about. And then we go to Seneca the following day, which has a half turf diamond, which is good also. So we're back playing games on turf prior to leading to the Nationals. So that I'm kind of happy about with that setup.
Okay, you basically answered my last question here, Coach. You mentioned Durham coming in this weekend. This is a traditional rivalry in OCA women's softball. It's Durham, St. Clair, always at the top. Certainly have played a lot of title games against each other over the years. Of course, we don't even want to get into last year what happened. We know what happened, but this is going to be a great test, as you said, and it's going to be, I think, maybe even a little tougher because, as you alluded to, you got to go to Mohawk the day before. How tough is it at this point? And I know these are young athletes, but just the same, they need their rest. That's going to be a tough weekend with Mohawk. Even though Mohawk's down in the standings, it's a road trip. You're going to be driving part of the day, things like that. Then you got to come back and play Durham. How tough is this weekend going to be?
Well, it's tough. I mean, we're gone 2 weekends in a row so far, and I saw a bit of we call it jet lag, but bus lag, I guess, coming home Sunday, and that was just after playing Sheridan. It was a tough thing to get into after playing Humber the day before. It was a lot of energy. So even coming home last Sunday, playing the drizzle out in Toronto area against Sheridan. It was rough. The kids were really tired, and we were all tired and just trying to get it behind us. So put it in the rearview mirror and move ahead. And we're on the road again, like 2 or 3 times before we come back for the Nationals.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The game is with Durham here at home will be on Sunday. Game times are at 1 and 3. Coach, we look forward to seeing the team play. It's always fun watching these girls play softball. It's going to be a great game. It's one of those games where I guess you can really figure out where your team is at. Fair to say that?
Yeah, it's definitely a good benchmark again. It's another I guess another step we need to take, and they're probably looking at doing the same.
Good stuff. We'll look forward to seeing you Sunday, Coach. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I really appreciate you giving us some time here today.
No worries. Thanks very much.
All right. So that's the women's softball update. The men, of course, they were in Sioux last weekend. They defeated Sioux both games handily. In fact, I think they were both Mercy Rule games. Sioux is a new program in the OCA men's baseball loop, so no doubt they'll go through some growing pains. We're going to go on to our next sport. Always love talking athletics with this guy. Great coach. Has put together a great program at the college in cross country. Of course, I'm talking about Coach Paul Boots, who joins us on the show. Glad you're back, Coach. That's a beautiful thing when we can announce that a coach is returning. How excited are you to be doing what you love there?
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's for sure. It's listening to baseball there. They're already 8 games into it, and we haven't had a race yet. So we're at the little bit opposite end of the season as they are, but we have our first race Friday, and the team's fired up. That's for sure.
Okay, well, let's get into the team, Coach. Again, had some really successful campaigns. I don't want to call it pressure, but certainly the bar has been set since you came in and took over this program, and you've brought it up to a very well-respected program, and one that I think other schools say, St. Clair is always going to be tough. What do you like about your squads this year, both on the men and the women's side, and where does the work need to start?
Well, let me start with the guys, because Dom, we're 3-time national medals, sure. which is pretty impressive in itself. And we have 3 All-Canadians coming back in Tyler Jones, Rick Nepomuceno, and Jake Fitzpatrick. So anytime you get 3 guys returning that were top 10 in Canada, obviously your team is off to a running start. So we do have a little bit of a beat up with Jake at the moment. But we have some new people coming in. We have a young man came in from Ottawa, and he's going to be looking to help us out. So we're looking forward to Friday. We don't have all our gunners ready to go, but I know you were talking to the baseball there and how they, you try not to think of nationals, but to be honest, we're constantly thinking of nationals because we have to gear our workouts to that because we're confident that we're going to be going there. So we really haven't done any speed work yet. So, yeah, we're just kind of starting to get into that. So the guys are looking good. We're not going to be ready for Friday, but we're going to be ready when the time comes, which is, the end of October and mid-November. For the ladies, we lost a couple of runners, but, we got some nice recruits coming in. We have a young lady from Tillsonburg area, and she's improving every practice. Both of the teams were second in the province last year, which was our best finish ever. So, and they were 8th in Canada, the ladies. So, we do have some returning veterans in Natasha, Maya, and Melody. So we have some vets to help out with the rookies coming in, and we're excited to see what happens on Friday.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Coach. I get it. Obviously, baseball it's a much longer schedule. Cross country is pretty compact schedule. Every meet is so very important, including this first one. But it is the early ones. I would say that maybe you do work out the bugs. Fair to say that? Yep.
And this is a great one, Dom. We're starting in Seneca. We've never started there. Seneca is probably one of the hardest courses in Canada. It's extremely tough. Which, as a coach, we just absolutely love it because Malden Park is an amazing place to practice. So we get them ready for this. We just love this opening meet. It's tough hills. It's not great for the viewing people watching it out, but you know, because they kind of go out and back and you don't see them much. But it's a tough one, that's for sure. And you know, we're going to be ready.
Tough is good, Coach. I think athletes like that, and you know, I want to go back to the men for just a moment, if we can key on them a little bit, Coach. Sure. Boots. You mentioned the 3 returnees. Tyler Jones, I think, is so well respected in OCA cross country. Just has been great. But the experience they have, how much does that help? Especially even in the early stages here. You mentioned a couple other runners are a little bit banged up, but can the experience they have, those 3 runners you had mentioned, can they carry the team and keep them going in a positive or positive forward motion?
Yeah, well, for sure, because they've raced there before, Dom, so they really know the course. And as a matter of fact, this is where we won the national championship. So I love the course.
Okay. Yeah.
So they do too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always tricks to every little course, and this one is no exception. So the veterans can tell the new people coming in, you know, some of the things to watch out for, some of the things to be careful for. There's always parts where you can fall, and you know, that kind of sort of thing. So definitely being on the course before for the likes of Tyler and Rick, you know, they will help out, and they'll tell our young gunners what to look out for.
Can you quickly, Coach? I did look at your schedule briefly, and I know about the Seneca one. And beyond that, though, can you key on some key dates or mention some key dates that are going to be significant? And is there going to be anything here locally?
There is nothing local, but the closest one is the following week in London at Fanshawe. Okay. And that's the opposite of Seneca. It's fairly flat, but we love it. And then a couple weeks later, we're back up in Toronto. And then the provincial championships are in Thunder Bay. We have no idea what the course is going to be like because we've never been to Thunder Bay before for a meet. So we're looking.
Don't you say that like Thunder Bay? Thunder Bay?
Bay to Thunder, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I was there once before, but that was years ago for track and field. And then we're off to Alberta for the 3rd year in a row, Dom, if you can believe it. We're heading to Medicine Hat, Alberta. Or last year we were in Calgary, and a couple of years before we were Grand Prairie, Alberta. So we're doing the Alberta route for the 3rd year in a row.
Medicine Hat, great town. I've spent time there. I've got friends there. I will make sure that they know that St. Clair is coming and to treat you guys well. That's for sure.
Yes,
awesome.
We can use some help. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great town, though, Medicine Hat, Alberta. Coach, we'll check back in with you. We'll get some of your athletes on as the season progresses here, but certainly excited that you're back. And I know you're retired from your other job, so the college gets you that much more, which is certainly a bonus. And I know you're going to continue to do great things there. Okay.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right. That's Coach Paul Boots of the cross country program. Really good to have him back in the fold. He's an outstanding quality coach, and he brings a lot of great knowledge to this sport. That's for sure. Our last stop. Well, I can tell you soccer's on the road this weekend. We had the games last week against Humber. Boy, oh boy, a tough outing for the Saints soccer team. Well, they found out where they stand. So you know what? You work at it and you improve. But we'll check back in with some soccer stuff next week for you. Going to finish off this weekend, of course, this week, I should say, with the football team, as we always do. And very, very excited to say they're 6-0 now. Went up to the nation's capital, knocked off the Ottawa Sooners. Excuse me. Coach Mike Lachance joins us on the show here today, as he always does. Good day to you, Coach, and thanks for doing this with us as always. And Coach, are you with me here? Can you hear me?
I am.
Hear me now? You can. Okay, good stuff. You never know with this technology today, Coach. It's sometimes very temperamental, but good to have you with us. And a quick review of the game in Ottawa, please.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was the weather was tough. It was rainy, cold, windy. Typical Ottawa, I guess, at this time of year. It was 80 degrees here, and it was 65 there. So it was a different type of day for us. And I think it showed both teams were a little bit slow in the passing game for sure, and became a slugfest. And our running game's clicking right now. So offensively, we were able to run the ball and control the clock. and all in all, a good showing. It was just a little bit tougher day with the
Yeah, and Ottawa, I mean, because we haven't seen them yet this year, and they're a little ways away. They had a 4-1 record going into this game, so it was a very important game for both teams. And I guess Ottawa, you put them in the same category as London, Coach.
Yeah, they're very talented. They got a big team,
Yeah.
very physical. They are what the record is, really. I mean, they showed up and they played tough, and they're going to be a team that we may very well see in the playoffs, either in the semis or the finals.
Yeah, we're getting almost to that point. I'll get into that in just a moment with you here, Coach. Every week you're looking for development, and I guess it's constant learning about your team. Anything in that game in Ottawa that went on, and that you learned about your team that maybe you can even take and utilize into the next game?
Well, we had a couple guys step up. John Cartier has been a good running back for us this year, and he's been coming on. But it was kind of his coming out party in that game. He rushed for 130 yards and another score, so popped off like a 56-yard run early in that game, and it really set the tone for us. So we always have those big playmakers that we know we could rely on, and it's another one that we could another bullet to put in the chamber. And it's nice to have those weapons on offense. So that was something that kind of stood out for us. And then just watching a guy like Andrew kind of take the next steps at quarterback, and he didn't throw for a lot of yards because it was windy and rainy, but I mean, he rushed for 105 and broke off a couple long runs, 125 and 140 for a touchdown. So again, a dual threat guy, a big guy, and it's nice to give other teams some things to worry about. We've got a bunch of guys in that backfield, and with the quarterback running now, it's I don't know where you concentrate on when you're playing us.
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Devontae or the special teams player of the week.
Devontae Lewis.
Yeah, Devontae Lewis. What was his day like? And here's a guy that I think, Coach, you must just love coaching a guy like this.
It makes us look really smart, doesn't it?
Well, I think people think you're smart, but makes you look smarter, I guess.
You know what I can tell you, though, on that kickoff return, I joked about it after because he's so darn talented, and I love watching him playing. Every time he touches the ball, I hold my breath because I think he's going to score. It's probably not fair to him because I expect so much of him now because he's spoiled me. But on that kickoff return, Coach Green had set that one up in practice, both in practice and on the sidelines, where he saw something on that coverage team with Ottawa, and he set up that right return. And it was probably, as great a return it was probably the easiest one Dante's had in his time with me. He had to shake one tackle early on in the run, but when he hit that wall, it was really there. And he had a 70-yard run up the sidelines being untouched. So the blocking was awesome on it, and the scheme by Coach Green was on point. So it takes 12 a lot of times to play, although sometimes Dante seems to do it on his own. That one, all 12 guys played a role with the coach as well.
He's pretty dynamic, that's for sure. He was named Special Teams Player of the Week. It seems as though, Coach LaChance, each week the Saints are getting accolades. One, it could be Defensive Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week. This week it's Special Teams Player of the Week. It says a lot about the team. How important is that to the team, and the fact that they're getting that kind of recognition?
I think it's a nice to have as a player. I mean, if you're Dante, it's nice to get it, I'm sure. And Jared's got a couple, and Andrew's got one, and it's been spread out a little bit. It's nice, but at the end of the day, it's icing on top of the cake. They know, those veteran guys know that the only thing that matters is a championship, and that's eluded us for a couple of years now. And all those accolades in the world, all the All-Canadians, the players of the year, they feel good in the offseason. I guess if you lose, it's something to console yourself with. Similar to me with Coach of the Year. When I get it, it seems like we lose, and it's something, I guess, to make yourself feel good about yourself if you lose. But I'd rather win and get no awards, and I know our players are the exact same. So,
well, we're going to send a memo to the league then. No more accolades for the Saints, and
yeah, absolutely.
at least like that. At least like that, we'll have a chance to win a championship. Then go from there. But this weekend, you get right back at it on the road again. Interesting schedule for the Saints this year. I know you and I had a chance to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, I see your expression there. Interesting. But you know what? I think in the end, I mean, I don't like the schedule, to be honest with you. But I think in the end, if anything, you know what? Just tells you how good this team is or how good they're becoming. and certainly you want to be challenged leading into the playoffs. And I think this has been an area of concern in recent years for the team.
Yeah, it's I mean, an interesting schedule. You said interesting, and that word is probably the most polite word that I could kind of phrase in this one. I could use a lot of other words to describe the schedule. I don't like it. I think I think it was grossly unfair, the schedule. But you know what? I just coach. I don't make the schedules. I'm not general manager. I'm not anything with the league. I just coach the team, and whatever schedule they lay on us, if they have us in the road, it's 8 weeks in a row, we're going to win 8 road games in a row. That's kind of our mentality right now, and it works. I mean, the city of Windsor is a blue collar city that's overlooked all the time, and people put it on us as a city. So why not get overlooked in situations like this? Why not get the hard way? And we've got a hard road. We've had a hard schedule, and the guys have come out pretty well. I mean, we've had a pretty good season so far, regular season, and it's all just a big practice for the playoffs, because the only time that matters is playoff time. That's the only season that matters, and everything that we do right now is fun, and it's preparation, and it's hard work. It's all those things all wrapped into one. But when it comes playoff time, it's a one and done. It's football is a wonderful game, but it's really cruel also, because you could have one bad night and everything that you work for is over. So our guys know that, and I'm pretty. You know me, Dom. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm pretty with my guys, and they're prepared for it.
Well, that's what we love about you, Coach. You don't sugarcoat it. You tell it the way it is, and you know what? That's a good thing, I think. Even in today's world, where sometimes people don't like it when you're so direct, I guess, or honest. But I think it's a great thing, especially in coaching. I think it's very important. Speaking of, you mentioned playoffs there. We're still 3 weeks away. And I know you, Coach. You're right. I know you're not even looking at playoffs yet, but hard not to take a look at this game this weekend on the road, because this is a possible playoff opponent.
It is. It's a really talented Hamilton team. I think that they're as well coached as anybody in the OFC.
Sure.
Jason does a terrific job with the team. I know they're going to be prepared for us. They gave us the hardest time during the regular season, offensively speaking anyways. We had a very difficult time moving the ball against them. Now we have made adjustments since that game. It was kind of like a learning moment for us. And since our Hamilton game, we haven't had a game where we rushed for under 300 yards. So we've made adjustments in the running game that have kind of propelled us to where we're at. And hopefully we can keep that going against a really tough Hamilton team on the road.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great test. And no doubt Hamilton wants to certainly spoil the perfect season anyways. And again, it possibly be a playoff matchup. Boy, would that be a confidence booster for them to say,
for sure,
we can play with these guys.
And I think it's a must-win for Hamilton if they want a home field game.
Right.
Too. They got to win their last two if they want a home field advantage. So this is the first step in that. And all the big boys play each other at the end of the year. So it'll be an interesting finish.
Well, go back to the schedule. This is where I hate the schedule. Your last game, you come home next week, and it's GTA. No disrespect to GTA, but again, another really, just not a good year for the Grizzlies, and something's got to change there. But I don't like this game for you guys because, again, I talk about getting ready for the playoffs. Not that you want to have to play a team where there's possible injuries and stuff like that, but I just don't know if GTA is going to be a good enough challenge heading into the playoffs. A little bit scary that way because that game could be really tilted to one side.
Yeah, you try to look at it positively. Generally speaking, in the past, when we played GTA, we've been able to roll the bench a little bit and get a lot of guys time. If we were fortunate enough to get up in the game and do what we expect to do, then at least we get to play everybody before that playoff round starts. Because in the playoffs, obviously, you're with condensed rosters, so on and so forth, a lot less guys are going to play, particularly in prominent role positions. So you try to look at it glass is half full, and like I said, I could be frustrated with the schedule, but I just coach it. So if we play GTA every week, then we're going to treat them like a championship game every week. If we got 2 road games that are overnight stays, we're going to do that too. And whatever the case may be, just keep throwing those teams in front of us. As long as we're playing, it means that we're alive, and we're happy with that.
All right. We're happy too, Coach. Love that 6-0. I love that 6-0. Hopefully 7-0 after this upcoming weekend. We'll check in with you next week. I think we'll grab one of your players next week as well, get caught up with them, but continued success to you.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
All right, that's the hardworking coach, Mike Lachance of the Saints football team. So just a quick reminder, this weekend out at the Sportsplex over at, not the Sports Park, I should say, out at St. Clair. There will be soccer on Saturday, and of course we'll have the games for you here on We Digital, but also softball on Sunday, and a real key matchup with the Durham Lords. That's a great rivalry again in women's softball, Durham and St. Clair. So those games are at 1 and 3. We'll have all that action for you as well. So that gets you caught up with Saints sports. Come back again next week. We'll do it up, talk it up, St. Clair College Athletics. Until then, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great day. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you again soon.